Hey everybody, we're doing Q4, which is identifying functions. I did not preview this, so it's a total surprise to me. Um, I assume it's about functionality and determining whether a relation is a function or not, but we'll see. Let's see, it's going to be Q4. So let's take a look and see what they're going to ask us about. Look at this table. Is this a relation or a function? Sure enough, this is a non-function, and the reason is because it's not predictable. What has to happen is in mathematics, we like predictability. The whole point to doing applied mathematics is to gather data, create a mathematical model, use that model to make a prediction. Well, here's the problem. When I put 7 into this table, if I say x is 7, well, let's say x is 9. We know that 9 gives us 10, no problem. But if I put in 7, sometimes my machine gives me 0 or my model, and other times it says 18, which makes it a non-function. This is the only problem that you run into. Now, the opposite of this is okay. In fact, all of these can go to the same output. A good example is weather. On the same day of the month, you better not have two different high temperatures for the day, right? Or low temperatures in this case. You want to have one low temperature as a prediction. You don't want to get two different predictions because it's unpredictable. So this is not a function. This one is not a function for the same reason. 3 is going to 0 and to 12. And we don't know which one we're going to get. So it is not a function. Three is going to 12, 15 is going to 19, and 4 is going to 18. Any number I choose in my domain gives me an absolute certain outcome. So this is a function. And in fact, this is what's called a one-to-one function, meaning that it could be done in reverse because every one of the x's is associated with exactly one y. So this is definitely a function. This one is also a one-to-one function. It is, yes, definitely a function. This one is a function, and it's a one-to-one. This one is not a function. If I put in -8, I know I'm going to get a 2. If I put in 5, I know I'm going to get a 5. But if 10 is put into my relation, I don't know what I'm going to get. Sometimes I get a 7, and sometimes I get a 4. And that is no, it is not a function. Nice and easy. Come on. Okay, again, not a function. The reason is the 12. We don't know what we're going to get. Sometimes we get a 4, sometimes we get a 16. It is not a function. This one is a one-to-one. It is yes. This one, a way to tell is to look at the vertical line test. And I want you to understand it. So look at this. This has a -5 for the x, and I'm getting out, it looks like -4. This point is at this x value is -3, this x value here is 0, and this x value over here is 3. In every case, I am not only getting one y value out, and let me erase this just so that it's clear. Anywhere I want, I could draw a vertical line and it will only go through one point. Those are different x values. So for example, one of my x values at -5 only goes through one point. Sorry, it's a little shaky. At x equal to 3, it only goes through one point. At x equal to 0, it only goes through one point. at x equal to sort of -3. It only goes supposed to go through 1 point. So it is a function. And in fact, it's a one-to-one function. The way you can tell is that it also works in the y direction. So it works both directions. And yes, it is a function. Which of these relations is a function? Not the first one, because the zeros are unpredictable. The second one is a possibility. The third one, because of the 4s, is not a function. The last one, because of the 10s, is not a function. So the only one that is a function is that one. The first one is a function. The second one is not, because of the 18. The 18 is a problem. In this one, the 12 is a problem. So it's the first one, and it is one-to-one. In this one, the first one looks like it's a function. And the second one is not, because of the 10. The third one is not, because of the 6. And the fourth one is not, because of the 1. The first one is not, because of the 2. The second one looks okay. The third one is not, because of the 4. And the last one is not, because of the 10. So the second one is the function. And this is not a one-to-one function, because both of these are going to 0. So it doesn't work in reverse. By reverse, it's putting in a y value and seeing if you can predict an x value. And in this case, you can't. So it's not what we call a one-to-one, but it is a function. Okay. This one, the 18 is the problem. In this one, the 8 is the problem. And this one, it is a one-to-one, it looks like. And in this one, the 1 is the problem. So it's that third one right here, which is fine. There we go. Which of these relations is a function? The first one is not, because of the 0. The second one is not, because of the 19. The third one is not, because of the 20. And the fourth one is a one-to-one. It is definitely a function. Let's see. The first one is not, because of the 8. The second one is not, because of the -13. The third one looks like it might be even, it's not a one-to-one because of the double on the 17, but it is a function. And the last one is not, because of the 10. You can see the 10 is not correct. So there we go. Okay, which of these relations is a function? Not the first one, because of the 1. The second one looks good. I don't see any problems. It's not one-to-one because the 3 can't be reversed. This one, the next one is not, because of the zeros. And this last one is not, because of the 13. In fact, 13 has 3 different values that it's associated with. We have no idea what's going to happen if we put a 13 in. Remember, the whole idea is to make predictions, and this one allows us to do that. Okay, which of these relations is a function? Not the first one. That 15 is a problem. Not the second one. That 9 is a problem. Not the third one. That 2 is a problem. And the last one, oh, I almost thought that was a 10 there. That last one looks good. And hey, it's a one-to-one. Look at that. Yes, it is. Definitely. Okay, we're getting there. Which of these relations is a function? Well, it looks like the first one might be. I don't see a problem there. In fact, I think the first one is a one-to-one. The second one looks like it's a function as well, but not a one-to-one. Wait a minute. Which of these relations is a function? Did I make a mistake? Oh, there it is. The first one, 16, is the problem. Do you see why I didn't choose it right away? Because it's easy to make a mistake. Look out. The 16 was going to 2 and 15. So the first one is not. It looks like the second one is good. The third one, because of the 10, and the fourth one, let's see, the 17 is the problem. So it looks good. Always check your answers all the way down, just to make sure. Because if you're taking a test or an assessment, they're checking to see if you really understand it. And if you just make a dumb error, that can really cost you. So it's better to take your time, make absolutely sure it doesn't take that long. That first one looks really good. Now this one is select all that apply. So this first one looks good, and I'm going to double check it. 13, 14, 1, 18, negative 7, 6. Now, some people simplify this and say, well, if the x repeats, then it's not a function. But be careful. I could write this, negative 3, 5, 4, 7, negative 3, 5, couldn't I? Do you see? It repeats, but it's okay. It's still predictable. So this is still a function. So be careful. This one is not because of the 1. This one is not because the 14 has 2 different values out. And it looks like this last one looks good. Let's see. And in fact, the last one is a 1-to-1. So there's 2 of them that are function, isn't there? See any other problems there? Okay, let's see if we can do a few more. We're almost done. Okay, first one, definitely not. That 13 is a problem child. Now, a lot of people get confused about this situation. This is okay. Both negative 10 and 20 are both going to 3, which is fine. Both 3 and 15 give me 17. It's kind of like this. One of my favorite function examples is a barcode and a price. Well, clearly, if you put in a barcode and you have 2 different barcodes, it's possible to have the same price on 2 different products, isn't it? The problem is when you put the same barcode and you get 2 different prices. See the difference? That's one of my favorite examples. So this one is fine. This one is a function. The first one is not. The second one, again, looks okay. All of your x's are going to a unique y. So this one's okay. And let's see about the last one. The last one is also not a function because of the 14. If we put in 14, we don't know what we're going to get. So only these 2. And it looks like we're almost done. We're getting there. Looks like they're going to make me really work for it. Okay, so I'm going to go a little faster. It's not 1-to-1, but the first one looks good. The second one looks good. And the third one, the 6, is a problem, and so is the negative 16. And in this last one, the 13 is the problem. So it looks good now. Okay, the first one, 1 is a major problem. Look at that. If we put a 1 into this relation, we don't know if we're going to get a 12. Sometimes we're going to get an 8. Sometimes we're going to get a 3. That is a really bad predictor. It's kind of like, oh, well, the election might go to this candidate, or maybe it'll go to this one, and maybe it'll go to this one. Who knows? So not a good function. The second one looks okay. And what about this third one? Nope, 19 is the problem child here, isn't it? And this last one, 3 and 14, neither one of them work. So it looks like that's the only one. They wanted to see if they could trick you into picking 2 there. All right, select all that apply. We want to find our functions. The first one, the 7, is the problem. The second one looks good. In fact, the second one is a 1-to-1. The third one looks good, but it's not 1-to-1, but it is a function. The last one is not 1-to-1, and in fact, it's not a function because of the 14s. So it looks like that's the only 2. All right, we're getting there. They're really making me work for it. Now, watch for your vertical line test. You see, this 0, when I put 0 in for x, I'm on the y-axis. And you see those 2 points right there? That one and that one? What's happening is 0 is telling me to go to 4, but it's also telling me that sometimes you're going to go to 0, -2. And there's another one over here. So it looks like this if you were to draw the picture, 4 or -2. And the same thing happens if you go to -4. We don't know whether we're going to get 4 or -2. So this is not a function, this first one. The second one, vertical lines all contain 1 point, so it's okay. In fact, for each x value, I have only 1 y value. Now, because of this, it's not 1-to-1, but it is a function, okay? But because of this, I can't do the inverse. I can't give you a y and then you can tell me the x. But it is a function. And this last one is definitely not a function. Look at that. That one violates the vertical line test 3 times, and this one violates it twice. So that one is not a function. And this last one is a function, but it's not 1-to-1 because of this right there. But it is a function because each one of these x's only gives me 1 y. Almost missed it. Let's make sure I got them both. Yep. Looks good. Okay, we're almost there. Keep at it. Don't give up. All right, this last one looks good. A lot of people freak out because their range is so small, but it doesn't matter. In fact, a very common type of function is what's called a constant function. And if you go to the dollar store, everything's going to $1, isn't it? So this first one is fine. The second one, it's looking good. I don't see any problems. Again, it's not 1-to-1, but that's okay. 17 is a problem child. That is not good. You can't make a prediction at all. And in this last one, 2 and 19 are both out. So it looks like we're done. Okay, looks like 1 or 2 more. All right, we're supposed to select all that apply. The first one looks like it could be a function. It's not a 1-to-1 function, but it is a function. The second one is not because of the 18. The third one is not because of the 14. And the last one is not because of the 4s. And looks like that's it. And I think we have 1 more to go. This is our last problem. I hope you'll practice. This one looks good. Okay. This one's okay. Again, not 1-to-1. This one, the second one, looks good. No problems on that one. Again, not 1-to-1. This last one, this one here, looks like it's a function. It looks okay. Yeah. And this one is definitely not a function because of the 7, right? That's it. We're done, guys. Well, I hope you'll try it yourself. Get all the way to your 100. Understanding functionality is a really important idea. See you back again. Bye.